Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us today. Wherever you are joining from, we truly appreciate you being here. Today's session is how to start a digital business using about 2 hours a day. And now, before we begin, let's set our tone right for this session. This is not a high-pressure sales presentation. It's simply a space for us to share with you how today's environment around work is changing, how many people are rethinking income, and how an everyday person can start exploring a digital business framework. We'd like to share a short video while we wait a little while more for more people to join, okay?
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're Bobby doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Singapore.
From Malaysia.
Singapore.
South Korea.
Cambodia.
You were there to help me as a partner, the partner. Like at very beginning, I'm really nervous in English, part meeting, but you were, oh, it's okay, we can speak Mandarin.
Show our willingness to learn and to grow. And I really, really admire you that, during this time when you give birth, you could have just said, I'm done, I need to take care of my baby. But you didn't. You still moving forward. You still working out and showing up for your partner. And to even prepare very expensive, very comprehensive flight.
I just want to acknowledge you for the heart that you have for the community. And you're an amazing mom.
She really put lots and lots of effort to nurture us with all her, I should say, her expertise in
having sticking to us till the end. And even though she had mentioned she's a newbie, but I had to take this moment to express my deepest gratitude to your hard work, determination, and also your unwavering support.
You're amazing. You're really amazing. Say thank you to Elsa for her support.
We talking about a business, also about being a mom. So you helped me to kill a lot of time at home.
And always encourage me, which really give me the motivation to keep going. Thank you again.
I'm going to have my time freedom, and I'm looking forward to my retirement soon. So I'm not going to think too much of it, just like it's there already, like the color of my eye.
Just the way it goes.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Once again, welcome everyone. In our digital business, we see people joining from different places and different life stage. Some of you may be working professional, parent managing family and career, individual looking for additional option, or simply curious about what this business actually means. Wherever you are in life, this session is designed for you to gain clarity, not pressure. You do not have to decide anything today. Just listen, reflect, and see if this makes sense for you. Take what is useful and leave what isn't.
Now, before we dive into the details, let's set a simple expectation. This session is all about clarity. It's not about convincing you. There's no pressure behind, and our goal is simple, to share how this business framework works and allows you to decide later if it's something worth exploring further. So relax, take notes if you want, and just listen with an open mind.
Let's start with something many of us can relate to. People today are working harder than ever. Agree? Agree, you can give me a thumbs up.
Any thumbs up? Oh, you're all very relaxed.
Okay, well, we mentioned that today is about gaining clarity. Before that, we would like to know what made you explore this opportunity. Feel free to type in the chat. Are you here because you are looking for more income, planning to exit from your corporate job, planning for retirement?
Let me see if there's any chat. Any people looking for extra income? What's the purpose that you are looking for? Someone said they need more money. Yes, everything is increasing, because of the war, right? Okay, we'll hear more of what we will be addressing. Okay, Ping?
The fact is, our environment around us has actually changed. The cost of living keep rising. Job that used to feel stable now is actually less predictable. Many of us are trading time and energy for a fixed salary that doesn't actually keep up with life. At the same time, family priority has actually shifted. More people more want time, they more want time for their children, their parents, and life outside work. And when we think about retirement, right, people actually feel uncertain. So the question actually became, is there another structure that actually gives us the flexibility?
Now, I am Janice from Singapore. I'm a corporate mom, and I've spent my many years in oil and gas industry. This industry is a fast-paced, high-pressure environment. I was constantly on standby, and to be honest, the income was good, but my life felt like I was always running, from meeting to deadlines, and then rushing home to take care of the family. End of the day, after settling the kids, I continued to work. I didn't have paper qualifications, so getting in that role was never easy. I was actually fortunate that I met a boss who gave me a chance. And for a long time, I thought that would be the last job I would retire in. But who knows? Everything changed when oil price crashed. The company actually went into bankruptcy. And back then, I was in my 40s and with no backup plan. At the same time, my husband had already lost his job before the pandemic. So we became a single income family during one of the most uncertain periods. And what affected me the most was also cost, and actually that caused me into depression, was watching people around me who gave in their 10, 15, 20 years of life to a single company being asked to go. I was so afraid that I was being one of them. So that actually made me realize something. Working hard doesn't always mean you are secure. And I start asking myself, is there any other way that I can create some form of backup or some other options for myself? And that's how I came across this digital business framework. So many people today exploring online business. It's not because we want to work less. It's because we want more control over how we work. It's because digitalization is the future direction. Tell me, today who can leave home without a handphone, right? So while online business today allows people to work from different locations, manage flexible schedules, use automation systems, reach more people globally, and build systems that continue working in the back end. In simple words, it's not about escaping work. It's about working within a different structure.
And for me, this became quite personal because when I look at my own situation, I realized something didn't actually quite match what I actually wanted in life. And I realized it's not just about being busy. It's because my time and income are directly tied to my work. So if I don't change the way I'm working, the situation is likely to continue. So one of the photo here, it was actually a Sunday. We have planned, but because of work, I have to cancel at the last minute. And in the end, I have to board my child with me to work. And this wasn't actually the first time. And at that point, I still remembering thinking this isn't the kind of life I want to continue long term. So actually, I wasn't, looking to stop working. I just start asking, is there another way to build something that actually can give me a bit more flexibility over time? And this is something I actually started to experience more when I started. Not perfect, but better than before. Being more present, spending time together. And I think the biggest difference here is the relationship. And this actually didn't came from actually quitting my job. I'm still actually working. It came from building something alongside that slowly give me the flexibility over time. So I started exploring. I was actually quite careful, like, any other people would do. I knew I need something that could actually fit into my current schedule, not something structured, and not something that I have to figure out from scratch. And what I came across this model, what stood up to me wasn't the income. It was the fact that there was already a system and a step-by-step way to follow. And I realized something, if I'm going to explore something outside along my current job, I don't need something that is more complex. I need something that is already structured. So what I will do next is to walk you through this framework very simply so that you can actually see for yourself how this system actually designed and decide if this is a good fit for you. Let me simplify everything you have heard so far into something very clear. Most people don't fail in business because they are not capable. They fail because they are starting from scratch, figuring things out alone, making more expensive mistakes along the way. What we share here is different. This framework is built on 3 parts: training, mentorship, and a global system already in place. So instead of asking, can I do this? The better question should be, if the system is already done, can I actually follow it? Let me ask you honestly, if today a complete business is already structured for you, would you prefer to build everything yourself or plug into something that is already working? Some other question that you might want to think about is, how do you actually want to run the business? Do you want to run the business like a traditional business, keep paying rental, keep inventory, or do live streaming, selling and introducing product, managing shipping and returns order? This is what I'm seeing real happening from other type of online business. Today, we will show you how all this above is not necessary with our structured business framework.
Yep. And now this is where many people feel stuck, because people tend to overthink. They think, I don't have experience, I'm not tech savvy, I don't know where to start. But let us reframe this for you. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what to do next. And that's exactly what this system gives you. A step-by-step web-based training that gives that you can actually do at your own pace, mentorship guidance, someone you can go to when you feel stuck, automated tracking tools that keeps your time frees up while running it, and a community support where you see inspiring sharings and motivation. The requirement is never about experience. The requirement is willingness to learn and apply.
Another common question is I often get is, do I need to create my own product? Now let's address something very important. We all want to be completely transparent with you here today. This business framework that we are sharing does include a global business partner company. We are not here to hide anything but at the end of the day, every real business is built around something of value, and that usually comes in form of product or services. But here, where many people understood, the moment they hear product, they immediately think, do I need to sell? Do I need to push to friend? Or do I need to convince anyone? And that's where the difference is. In traditional model, the focus is on selling, pushing, and chasing. But in this framework, the focus is not the product, but the focus is on the system. The product is simply already established, proven, and already part of the global structure. So simply answering that question, no, you do not have to create anything, not even managing inventory or handling shipping. We are not here to turn you into a salesman. Your role is to understand how the system works, position the business, and let the system do the heavy lifting. Let me put it in a very simple way. You cannot build a business without something behind it, right? But the question is, are you building around the product, or are you building around a system that already integrates everything? And that's what makes the difference here. The product is part of the engine, but the system is what drives the business.
Now, many people will also ask, who is this actually for? Because many people think that maybe this works for others, but not for me. But take a quick look here at the screen. These are not influencers. They are not business experts. These are ordinary people, people with jobs, people with families, people with responsibilities, just like you and me. Just to name a few, in our community, we are getting teachers, engineers, nurses, accountants, sales executives, even stay-at-home moms, caregivers, and akong ama, which is retirees. Okay, all of them are of different backgrounds and different life stages. We all started with different reasons. Some wanted more income, some wanted more time with family, more flexibility, or simply a backup plan. So here's the interesting part. The dreams are different, but the framework we use is exactly the same.
And this is where it became even more powerful. What you're seeing here is not just a local community, a local group. This is actually a global community. People from all parts of the world are building within the same framework. And because this is a system-based business, your market is not limited to where you stay. You are not restricted to your office, your country, or even your immediate network. Your reach became global, and that's changed everything. Because now you're not just working within your own environment, you're actually tapping into a system that already connects people worldwide. And most importantly, you're not doing this alone. There's a community, mentorship, shared experience, and people who actually started exactly where you are today. And they are just simply a few steps ahead of you. So by now, you have seen different people, different background, different country, all using the same framework. So naturally, a question might come to your mind, can I actually do this too? And the honest question is, not everyone will.
And we say this very openly because clarity is more important than convincing. This is not for someone who is looking for quick money, overnight success, and something that requires no effort. Because even though this is a system, you still need to show up, even if it's just 1 to 2 focus hours a day. But this may be suitable for someone who is open to learning, prefers structured instead of guessing, wants to build something alongside their current commitments, and understand that consistency matters more than speed. Because this is not about doing more, it's about doing the right thing with a proven structure. So at this point, you don't need to decide anything yet, but you can start asking yourself a simple question. Am I the type of person that fits? This is why the next step we share later is not about starting, it's about understanding. So you can make a proper decision and not an emotional one.
In a job, you're paid for your time, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But the limitation is when time stops, income stops. Now compare that to a system-based model where your effort builds something that continues to work in the background. So the real question is, which is better? The real question is, do you only want one source or you want more than one? And relying on just a single source of income will be the risk you are actually taking. Just like Janice has mentioned earlier, she witnessed her colleagues spending their lifetime, 20 to 30 years in a single corporate, but eventually asked to leave because of an economic upset, which is more risky. Just a single income or building a side hustle that just takes only 1 to 2 hours a day. So on the topic about the difference between working for time versus working within a system. And naturally, the next question is, why does this system actually works? There are many things online, many opportunities, many platforms. So what makes this one different? Why are people able to stay consistent and actually building something over time? Let us break it down for you in a very simple way.
Now, this works not because it's easy, but it's because we have actually removed the main reason people fail. Firstly, people don't start because they don't know, most people don't start because they don't know what to start. And that's why we are here. There's a clear system, there's a clear framework. You don't wake up guessing every day. You simply follow the next step. Second, many people feel overwhelmed. They think, I'm not creative. I don't know how to write. I don't know what to post. That's where AI tools comes in to support us. Help us with idea, structure, execution. So you're not starting from zero every day. Thirdly, people quit too early, not because they are not capable, but because they are doing it alone. While here, you have mentorship, you have a community, and when you're unsure, you don't stop. You ask, you adjust, and you continue. Lastly, risk. Many people hesitate because they think, do I need to invest a lot? What if I lose money? That's why this model is different. It's not trading, it's not crypto, it's not speculation. You are not guessing outcome. You are learning a system and applying it. So if you look at it, this is not about luck. This is not about talent. This is not about timing. It's about having the right structure, the right support, and the right environment to stay consistent. So now that you understand why this works, why people are able to stay consistent, why this is not based on guessing, and why the system supports you along the way. But at this point, some of you may still ask questions in the mind. Things like, is this going to be like selling? Do I need to approach people? Is there hidden pressures?
So let's address this very clearly because we want you to understand what is this and this is what it is not. This is not a model where you need to chase friend or family. You do not need to hold inventory. There is no monthly sales target to hit. You are not being pressured by hierarchy or ranking. And this is very important because many people have past experience where they felt uncomfortable or pressure or unsure of how to continue. This framework is built differently. It's a system-driven, not pressure-driven. So also, let's be real. This doesn't mean that you have to do nothing. You're still building around something, just in a more structured and guided way. Your results here are not based on who you know or who introduced you. It's based on how you actually apply the system. So by now, you understand how the system works, why it works, and what it is not. So the next logical question became, what does it actually take to start something like this?
Let's look at this from a practical point of view. If someone wants to start a business traditionally, they usually need to invest in website, marketing, system, testing, and trial and error. And this can easily add up to tens of thousands. And even after that, there's no guarantee it works. Now, compared to what we are sharing here, you are not paying to start a business today. You're paying to understand it first. This USD 149 is not a business cost. It's an access to clarity. Inside, you'll see the full system, how everything connects, what it's required, and whether it fits you. And most importantly, you have 30 days to explore it. No pressure, no obligation. This is why this is not a commitment step. It's a clarity step. You can make a proper decision with full understanding. So instead of asking, what if this doesn't work? A better question is to ask, what if I never take that step to understand properly?
So if you have been following us along so far, at this point, you don't need more information, you need clarity. And this is exactly what the next step is designed for. The USD 149 is not for you to start a business, it's for you to access the full walkthrough. So you can see everything clearly before making any big decision. Here's what happens after you get access. You'll go through a guided walkthrough, you understand how the full system works, you connect with a mentor, and you take your time to evaluate. So the next step is not about commitment, it's about understanding this properly.
So let me show you exactly what you'll be getting inside, because we want you to be very clear. What you have is a complete guided walkthrough, not bits and pieces, but it's a full picture. The actual system and structure, how everything connects behind the scene, ongoing mentorship and support, so you are not figuring out things alone, and 30 days to explore everything. So you are not rushing into anything, you are given time to understand. And if after going through it, you feel that it's not for you, you can step away. And that's why we say this is a risk-managed way to explore, not a pressured decision. And if we take a step back and look at everything that is shared today, you are not just looking on an idea, you are looking at a complete framework that already exists, where the system is already built, the training is already structured, and the support is already in place. And most importantly, there is something designed to fit into your current lifestyle, where you can start with just 1-2 hours a day from wherever you are without needing to change everything immediately. And over time, as people stay consistent within the system and learn how to apply it properly, this is where they start to see income grow progressively. For some, eventually reaching an additional 4 to 5 figure monthly income stream. So at this point, you don't need to be convinced. You just need to ask yourself one simple question. Does this make sense for me to even understand further?
If what you have seen today feel aligned with what you have been looking for, something structured, something flexible, something that you can build along your current life. So the next step is very simple. It's to explore this further, and this is your next step. You can actually scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the chat group. If you're on your phone, the link will be easier. If you're on your laptop, you can simply scan directly. Take your time, no rush. But if you feel, I want to understand this properly, then this is where you begin. Simply follow this step. Take out your phone now, open your camera, and scan the code. Can someone put up the link? Is the link in the chat?
Yeah, the link is already on the chat. So if you are accessing your Zoom with your phone, you can actually click on the link in the chat where you can access to the next step.
So once you have complete your access, type a done in the chat or connect with the person who invited you to this webinar today, and we will guide you on the next step.
Okay, so far what we've shared with you is the framework, how it works, and why people are exploring this today. But we also understand something. Listening to us alone may feel still theory. So instead of just hearing from us, we thought it would be more meaningful for you to hear from people, real people, from different backgrounds who already started this journey. They are not just speakers, they are not experts, they are ordinary individuals who was once sitting exactly where you are today. Some of them started while working full-time, some are parents, some had no prior experience, but they all made one decision to explore and understand this further. So as you listen to them, don't focus on their result, focus on their journey, why they started, why they felt at the beginning, and what changed for them. Because sometimes it's not about hearing from someone ahead of you. It's about hearing from someone who was once in your position. So let's not wait, and let us invite Amy. Amy is from Singapore, and she actually has 3 teenage children. Okay. Hey, Amy, you have to unmute.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, host Janice and Shepin. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time to attend this webinar. I'm Amy, a working mom from Singapore with 3 children. My youngest son has special needs and he requires lifelong care. So caregiving is a big part of my daily life. I've been working for over 30 years, mostly in finance and now in the health elder care sector. Juggling work and caregiving is a strain on me. There was a point where I felt completely drained, emotionally and physically. Long hours at work, rushing home, and feeling like I wasn't giving enough to my son. That guilt haunted me for many years. I've tried other side business like MLM, but this model requires me to be away on after office hours and even on weekends, so it cannot work. Holding on to the job is just to cater to the rising therapy and other living costs. And when you work, you are always trading time for money. Recognition does not necessarily equate to your effort. Not to mention, performance review is dependent on others. I grieve deeply that I'm not able to have more time for the person who needed me most. My logical side say, stay on to the job, get the income first. But I told myself, I will not, and I cannot be working forever. I must really find a workable plan B. I found this business by chance on YouTube. I saw an advertisement by Janice. Her work struggles resonates with me. But frankly speaking, at the time, I was still skeptical about the business.
Can you go and help me on the line? Getting
I
down.
was very scared. I'm introverted and very shy about putting myself online. I kept thinking, what if I fail? What will people say? And even to go digital at this age? However, I was really tired of feeling stuck. I wanted something flexible to give me more breathing space. The consideration was, if I do not take action now, when will it be? And will things change? I will just be wondering why other people can do it, and I'm circling back to where I was. I further evaluated the business, and finally, I reached out to Janice and started working on this business. The training system allows me time to learn at my pace, and the automated system takes care of everything else. There is also a community of business partners who support each other, so I really do not feel alone. Ever since I started this business, I find myself growing in confidence in the social media, learning new digital skills every day, even like AI tools. This business allows me to work in pockets of time available, working around my life schedule now, sparing me time for things that matters to me. I'm still working, but I feel lighter emotionally because finally I've taken action on a good plan. Not a good get rich quick, but the legitimate, flexible, workable business. This business, I plan it as a legacy for my son, as well as my retirement plan. Because with the rising costs, I want to stretch my retirement funds as long as possible while doing this business. To the audience listening in, the fact that you are here means you are looking for something to better your life. If any of our sharings resonates with you, please contact the person who invited you to this webinar to find out more. Don't overthink. Know your why. Start with one small step. If someone like me who knows nothing about social media, non-tech savvy, introverted, busy can do this, surely anyone can. Thank you for listening in. Back to Janice and Shepin.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy, for sharing so honestly and openly. And it's really actually not easy to share something of that so personal. I think what stood out is the reality she has been facing, juggling work, caregiving, and still carry that emotional weight quietly. And I believe many of us here actually can relate in our own way, feeling stretched, but still needs to keep going. But what she shared also brings up something that we don't actually usually ask ourselves. If nothing changed, will things actually get better? For Amy, it wasn't about being ready. It was about deciding to take the next first step. So if you listen today, just reflect for yourself. What is the one step you have been putting off? All right, next, I would like to invite Stephanie to share. She's a single mom with 2 teenagers, part of the sandwich generation like many of us here today, caring for both her kids and her elderly mother. She has close to 30 years of experience in working in the corporate world and recently went through retrenchment. So what she shared today is actually not theory, it's something very real. And I think many of us, this is the situation we may not actually think about until it actually happened to us. Stephanie, over to you.
Thank you, Shepin. Thank you. So yeah, can you all hear me loud and clear, right? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us. My name is Stephanie. Yeah, I'm a single mom with 2 teenagers, and many of us here, I'm part of a sandwich generation. Yeah, still raising my young kids while also caring for my 90-year-old mom. And right now, my mom is actually in the hospital. So yes, life is very, very full at the moment. I've been in the corporate for almost 30 years now. And I recently got retrenched. Yeah. So currently I'm not employed. So today I'm not speaking from theory. I'm speaking from something which is very real that happened in my life. And I didn't quit my job to start this business. I started this business while I was still working because deep down I already knew job security is not something we can depend on forever. And now having gone through retrenchment again, yeah, again, that reality feels even close. Started this business not very long ago. So I'm not here to impress anyone or sell you anything. I'm just here to share my story, why I decided to start and why I'm continuing even more seriously now. So when you reach your age of 50s, your thinking will really changes. Yeah, you'll start asking yourself questions like, is my savings really enough? What happens if my income suddenly stops? So when something like retrenchment happens, those questions are no longer just thoughts. They become very real, urgent, and personal. Over the years, I've also tried different things, attended trainings, put in a lot of effort, but I couldn't find the kind of stability I was looking for. And I'll be very honest, I also been scammed in investment before, and that hurts. That experience also made me very careful. I don't want to jump into things so easily anymore. So when I came across this business on FB, Facebook, I didn't rush. I took my time. I did ask a lot of questions and tried to observe. So I kept asking myself one simple thing. Can this be done safely alongside my responsibilities at my age now, especially in uncertain times like this? So my why is very simple. It's not about having luxury. It's about peace of mind. Especially in this season right now, when my mom is in the hospital, peace of mind means even more. It means knowing I'm doing something to rebuild instead of just worrying. It means knowing I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket anymore. That's all I wanted to share today. My why and my reason for starting this business. Shared resonates with you, go back to the person who invited you. So have a conversation with them, ask your questions, take your time to understand this business so there'll be no rush and no pressure. Yeah,
Thank you.
I think that's all
Thank
for
you,
now.
Thank you, Stephanie,
Thank
for
you.
sharing. Okay, I understand. Stephanie, her network isn't stable. Okay, I can see that, there's buffering, but I hope you all still hear the message that she wants to deliver. Okay. Like Stephanie shared, she has been retrenched, and not the first time, it was the second time. But it resonates with how I've seen my colleagues, being affected. But what I've seen in Stephanie this time round is that she's not prepared. She's prepared in a back end where she won't scramble that I'm out of, options. Right? What can I do? She's prepared with a safety net that she is, she can actually hang on while she iron out the plans that is ahead of her, right? So she's not left with nothing. She built something. Okay. So next we also have someone from Malaysia, and I'll just let Francisca share her sharing, and she will share with you how this business can be profitable.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Janice. And also thank you, Xueping, for hosting this webinar and giving me the opportunity to share my why and how I build this business. And I'm really excited to be here, you know. But just now, somebody messaged me that they cannot scan the QR code on the screen. But if you cannot scan the QR code on the screen, maybe I think Janice has put it on the chat box. Yeah, you can just.
I'll put the link on the chat box again.
Thank you, thank you. Well, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Francisca from Malaysia. Yeah, I'm from Kota Kinabalu. Some of you here may relate to this feeling. You have worked so hard for so many years and saved diligently, planned carefully, but then one medical bill, one failed business, or one stuck investment drain your saving faster than you expected. And of course, many sleepless nights filled with worry and stress. Well, I understand that feeling because I have been through it. My husband and I spent over 20 years living and working abroad. We came back home to Malaysia. We wanted a slower pace of life, so I taught part-time and ran a small cafe. Life was good until COVID hit and my husband got sick. Overnight, our income stopped. That is when I learned that being prepared is not the same as being protected. I felt lost and having many sleepless nights. And of course, I tried MLM, a lot of things, e-commerce, and a few others, but nothing lasted. Then I attended a webinar like this one and discovered a digital business that people were running part-time and getting real results. At that time, I felt exactly like you might feel right now. I'm unsure, skeptical, not even knowing the company or the product. But what I realized is sometimes you don't need to know everything upfront. It is just like when we attend a training or a presentation. So much information is shared and we don't fully understand everything at the beginning. Well, so I decided as recommended to pay USD 149, exactly what like currently that we are attending this webinar. Not because I had all the answer, but because I wanted the opportunity to observe, to evaluate, does this business suit me or not? Well, if it's not for me, I can always get a refund. And during that process, I asked myself, is this business really what I'm looking for? Yes, that small step became my turning point. Today, I still teach full-time, but I walk into my classroom feeling so much lighter. I'm able to earn extra now and spend just 1 or 2 hours a day to run this digital business. I do it during lunch breaks, before class starts, or when waiting for my husband to pick me up. It has given me confidence and peace of mind. The same as what Stephanie mentioned, peace of mind, knowing I don't have to rely only on my job. Now my husband and I travel more and I no longer wake up worrying much about money because I know my digital business is running at the back. This business didn't just change my income, it changed my peace of mind. So if you feel stuck or uncertain, take that one step. Sign up for USD 149, get back to the person who invited you and talk to them and consult them. Just like what I did. Explore it for 30 days. No pressure and no risk. You get a refund if it's not for you. Well, that small decision could become your turning point too. All right, so that's all for my sharing today. I hope it helps. And thank you for listening. And back to you, Janice and Shirping.
Thanks, Francisca, for sharing your experience with us. I think actually many people can actually relate to. So what actually stood up to me for her sharing is like, even years of planning and doing things right, one unexpected situation can actually change everything. And many of us actually felt that we are prepared, especially when we are in our 40s to 50s. But as she shared, being prepared doesn't mean that we are always like protected. Sometimes it's not about whether something will happen, but actually when. So if something actually disrupt our income today, how long can we actually sustain? For Francisca, it wasn't about knowing everything up front, and it was about being open to explore before deciding something, whether it's this for her. And that once that actually became her turning point. So if you are listening today, just ask yourself, if things change suddenly, would I be ready or would I be reacting? And with that, thank you so much to all our panelists for sharing their stories today. So, and maybe for some of you, after hearing their stories, you might actually feel inspired, or you might actually feel curious, or you might actually still processing everything, what's happening. And for all of that, that is actually completely normal. because for many people, this is actually something new. And sometimes you just need a little bit more time, a bit more exposure, and a bit more understanding. So you are someone who feels, I'm not ready yet, but I want to see more, then we have something for you. We have a private Facebook community where we share real journey from people inside, how they are actually building step by step, different experience across country, and how this business actually looks like. And this is not a sales group. It is a space for you to observe, learn, and see if things align with you over time. So if you haven't joined yet, you can actually scan the QR code on the screen to gain access. Or can someone actually put up the links in the chat? So for what you need to do now is you just have to indicate the name of person who actually invited you to this webinar to gain access. So please access the the group if you have not yet. Because sometimes we understand before making a decision, people just need to see more, and that's perfectly okay. If today you are not ready to take the next step, don't disconnect completely. Stay close, observe, and decide when you are ready.
Now, before we wrap up, we just want to leave you with this thought. Today, we said it's not about making a decision, it's about gaining clarity. But at the same time, clarity only becomes useful when you act on it. Many people feel something after a session like this. Some feel excited, some feel uncertain, some are still thinking, and all of that is completely normal.
But here's a question you can ask yourself. If not now, then when will be the right time for me to explore something different? Because often there was never a perfect time, only a moment where you decide to understand things a little deeper. So instead of deciding everything today, your next step is just simply reach out to the person who actually invited you to this session, have a conversation, ask your question, understand it in your context.
You don't have to figure everything out alone. Take your time, reflect on what you've heard, and when you're ready, just take that next small step to explore further.
Thank you once again for spending your afternoon with us today. We are going to stay here for a few more minutes so that you can actually take your time to go through the process and complete your access comfortably. And for those who might need a little more time, we understand, and that's perfectly okay. Stay connected with the person who actually invited you, or join the private community to continue observing us. Because this is not about making a fast decision, it's about making the right one for yourself. Thank you once again for spending your time with us today, and we truly appreciate it, and we look forward to see you on the next step wherever you're ready. Bye. So the code will be put up.
Yeah, the link are in the chat. If you need the link to access, it's always there. And we are just going to hang on for a few more minutes while people are using the link. Thank you, Olivia. Look forward to see you on the inside. I'm excited for you. If you actually have issues scanning the code or getting the link, please reach out to the person who invited you to the webinar, and then they will guide you the next step. Well, I noticed some of you all may have joined in the webinar at the very late timing. We have actually we actually at the end of the webinar, and you will be sending out replay if you are halfway into the webinar and didn't actually capture what we have shared in the earlier part of the webinar. So no worries, you'll still be getting the replay. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. We'll be ending this session. If you do have any questions, remember to reach out to the person and get the connections. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.